Control News. I'm Matt Fox coming at you from Rostock, Germany. Glad you guys could join me tonight. And I got to tell you, man, each and every day it just gets crazier and crazier. Uh, let's just hop right into it. You got a president, a Republican president, and I kind of feel bad saying that because he's not really a serious Republican. He's a made up Republican. And this guy is in there with his MAGA crew and utilizing all the politicians that fall under the GOP umbrella and is making them look like fools. They are not representing their constituents, the people who voted for them. They are representing Donald Trump. They are loyal to Donald Trump. They are not loyal to their constituents. They're loyal to Donald Trump. And because of this, they have been hiding. They have been hiding shit left and right. They have been skipping over things that they should have been dealing with rather than dealing with it. So, sorry, work today. Um, I got to tell you, they've had enough. They've had enough of covering up for a fucking pedophile. They've had enough of his vanity projects all around Washington, D.C., and they've had enough of his abuse of Americans' rights, and they've had enough of his um, continued misuse of funds for pet projects, for his continued abuse of AI. I mean, this is the guy's wife who was talking about internet bullying, and this dude is straight up the whole frigging he's the picture of an internet bully. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so that's why 19 GOP Republicans told Trump, because they have a bill on the floor right now that would extend FISA, and that is a bill that allows the government to listen in on your phone calls if they want to. Like if your name's on the list or something like that, if you're somebody who disagrees with Trump and you're an opposition figure or you're a protester, they're trying to, hey, what's up, Sebastian? How's it going? Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, bro. But that lets the government listen in on your phone calls. Now, normally, that would not be such a bad thing if it was not being used in a partisan situation such as Trump. Because, see, Trump is an asshole and he's just out to get anybody that doesn't agree with him. And that includes me. And that's why you don't see me flying my happy ass over to freaking America. That's why I'm sticking around in Germany. And because I'm old, I get to retire in a couple of years. I'm going to get me a place in Amsterdam, fool. Chill. But I have friends and family in America. And that's why I do this podcast. Because I love my family. And I love God. And God knows that there is no place in the world for people like Donald Trump except for to expose all the other dumbasses in the world. And those dumbasses in the Republican Party are now seeing the light. So as I said, 19 GOP Republicans stepped aside and sided with the Democrats and said, no, we're not going to renew this bill because it's not necessary. Besides that, just to get to a real fucking point about this deal, this FISA, they used that after the January 6th riots. And some of the senators who were texting and writing and telephoning with Trump at that time were on the list of people that got looked at. Because, I mean, when the whole January 6th thing was going on, Donald Trump sat there and watched it for like 4 hours before he did anything. But in the meantime, there were senators in the Senate that were supposed to be verifying the vote count and everything, and verifying the election of Joe Biden. And Donald Trump sent his J6ers in there to try to stop the verification of the election. They were talking about hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. Remember that? And I got to tell you, Mike Pence took it a little bit easier than I would have, because I'd have been mad. I'd have went over there and called that fool out to his face. So nevertheless, they sided with the Democrats, and Trump is not going to get that extension to the FISA. He is not going to get his ballroom funding, and he is not going to get a lot of things that he wants because he done pissed everybody off. Listen, the thing is, as soon as you don't agree with Trump, even if you're a Republican, and you've been backing him for years and years and years, the first time you say no, well, he's going to freaking talk shit about you. He's going to talk about getting somebody else to primary against you. You see, and that's why some of them are now seeing the light. Because the whole Epstein drama, and I say drama because that's exactly what it is. Trump is in the files. Elon Musk told the world. Elon Musk told the world. And the allegations against Trump is freaking crazy. This dude is accused of accessory to murder. He is accused of rape, sexual assault, all sorts of shit. And although these allegations have not been proved out, the allegations are still there in FBI documents, in police documents, in court records. And the DOJ was supposed to release the Epstein files because of the Epstein Files Act. And Donald Trump said, you know what, Pam Bondi, you want to keep that job, you need to tamp all that shit down. You need to redact. Everybody she put 1,000 FBI agents on the files to redact his name. Well, guess what? They may have redacted his name and the names of his buddies, but many survivors' names were not redacted. And that's the main people they were supposed to redact the names of. Not Trump's name, not his buddy's name. And the fact is that Trump was actively recruiting girls for Epstein. He did his Look of the Year contest where he invited girls to participate and invited them all over to his place and stuff in New York. And they came in there thinking that there was going to be a whole bunch of jurors sitting there to judge whether they could take part or whatever. And they came in, and who was there? Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, the two greatest perverts of all, with all those secrets that they have in common. You know what I'm saying? And Trump made it clear in his birthday card to his friend. And I'm pretty sure that when push comes to shove, the Republicans are going to finally snap out of it and take the L and understand that if they go ahead and take the L come the midterms, that the GOP will break apart, the MAGA people will exit stage left, because if they don't exit stage left, they're going to be called out when it comes time for the midterms to take place. They're going to be called out. Every time they do a town hall, the fucking people are going off the chain on these people because they're mad that they're covering up for a freaking pedophile. So this is the deal. Trump wants to continue the FISA program so he can continue to spy on Americans. But like I said, the GOP, 19 GOP senators or Republicans said no, and so that is not going to happen. So besides that, there's plenty other things going on. The Epstein files have been a major topic, and how the administration was meeting in the Situation Room with J.D. Vance and Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and freaking Susie Wiles and Marco Rubio and a few others. And it comes out that the meetings are now public information, and the infighting that was going on at that time looks like it's going to be news pretty soon. And there are Congress people calling for them to be subpoenaed to discuss before the Congress under oath what the fuck is going on. So, but what I do not understand is how it is that you get meetings with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, before the Congress under oath. And even though it wasn't videotaped, still, they were under oath. And Howard Lutnick and freaking Pam Bondi both are allowed to go answer questions to Congress, to some of the oversight people. And it is not filmed. They are not under oath. And there's plenty of others that can be added to that list, such as Melania Trump. How's that? Donald Jr., Ivanka Trump, Eric Trump. They were all on the island. Donald Trump. Why not? And RFK. I mean, why are these people not being called in, put under subpoena, and made to answer questions about their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Because I got to tell you, America is probably the only country where if you were fucking with Epstein, that you were called out and asked questions and maybe face some consequences, such as Prince Andrew, what's her name? Fergie, and some other major players. Uh, Larry Summers, for one, Larry Summers had to step away from his position. Kathy Rumor, an attorney who dealt with Epstein a lot. But the thing is I don't think a lot of MAGA people are really understanding that Trump is the linchpin. You hear me? I'm going to say it one more fucking time. Trump is the linchpin to the whole Epstein files. Get it in your head. Donald Trump is the linchpin to the whole Epstein files. He was the president when Epstein was put in jail, and he was the president when Epstein, unalived himself. Yeah? Don't believe it. So the question is, sorry, the question is, how is it that Trump, who was also the president when the search of the Zorro Ranch was stopped because of the DOJ, that was Trump's DOJ, they told the authorities in New Mexico, stop searching the ranch, the investigation, we're taking over the investigation. So, but did they search the Zorro Ranch? No. And so now authorities are coming back and saying we are going to continue the search. There are possibly dead bodies on that Zorro Ranch, and we're going to continue to find the evidence that needs to be found. So, because of this, there are lots of members of the administration who were there in the Situation Room. In the Situation Room. I remember when the Situation Room was used for like war situations, you know what I'm saying? Like there was some shit going on, like they would go in there and talk about it. So, but now, sorry. The Situation Room is now a place where you can go and talk about anything you want to if you don't want nobody to hear about it. But the thing is, the leaks are occurring anyway because everybody is mad at Trump for being a pedophile and for trying to cover it up. He sold himself to MAGA as the end all be all guy, drain the swamp, all that bullshit. And you know what? He has just made Washington 100 times worse. MAGA, get it through your freaking head. Donald Trump does not represent you. Donald Trump only wants your money. Buy his Bibles, buy his shoes, buy his watches, buy his freaking signs and shirts and hats. That's why he wants you. That's why he wants you to be mad about transgender, and that's why he wants you to be mad about uh, 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 illegal aliens and stuff. But let me tell you something. Those illegal aliens are paying more taxes than freaking Donald Trump. Now, they go and they make a big deal out of it when an illegal alien or somebody with brown skin goes and kills somebody. Well, let me tell you something. There are a lot of white people killing people too. Do you remember that guy in Las Vegas in that hotel room that shot with a machine gun in a crowd in Las Vegas and killed like freaking 62 people? Huh? You remember that? That dude was white. Do you remember that dude that went over there in that school over there in Sandy Hook and shot up all those kids? That was a white dude. Those dudes that shot at Donald Trump, or possibly shot at Donald Trump, those were white dudes. So every time that Donald Trump wants to try to throw out some sort of scapegoat to wind up his base, he tries to make the illegal aliens the motherfucking scapegoats. And these dudes are, leaving bad economic situations. They may be running from, sorry, they may be running from gang violence. I don't know. I don't know what their deal is, but I know one thing. Most of them come over here and try to get some work. Most of them come over here and get some money to support their families. And I ain't talking about they all signing up for welfare, because as far as I understand it, it's not possible to come over here or come to America from another country and just automatically jump on the welfare rolls. I may be wrong, but I'm telling you, the majority of violence in America is carried out by Caucasians, blacks, Hispanics. Yeah, everybody does some shit. But there's a lot of white people that do some shit too. But they ain't saying nothing about that. And they ain't saying nothing about these white Christian nationals or Nazis, or wannabe Nazis anyway, or white supremacists. They ain't saying nothing about that. Donald Trump was sitting there eating at the table with who was that? David Dugan or whatever, and what was that other guy's name? That friggin' Nazi, Joe Torres or some shit like that. Anyway, it's just not right to let Donald Trump wire you up to think that just because somebody came from Mexico or from Venezuela or wherever, that they're sucking off America's tits. Most of them are trying to earn some money and support their families. And they pay taxes more than Trump. So, in regards to Vance and Wiles and Rubio and all these people that were in the Situation Room, there was one dude, he was not trying to be pulled into the fray. And that dude was Dan Bongino. Now, he's been keeping it a little bit quiet because he knows that he's under surveillance. He knows that they will kill him. Because, see, that's the same kind of threat that Donald Trump is alleged to have made to more than one little girl who may have angered him because she didn't want to do what he wanted her to do, or because she didn't do what he wanted her to do correctly. And so, yeah, he says, you know what? You don't do it, I'll have you killed. I'll have your whole family killed. That is what is alleged to, that he said to young girl who did not want to do what he wanted her to do. Now, there are more than one allegation where there was more than one girl that was dealing with Donald Trump, and the one girl was telling the other girl what she needed to do to make him happy, but she wasn't trying to hear it. And so the other one had to get busy. See, this is some gross shit. Because if you think about it, this is a dude in his mid-30s screwing around with a 13, 14-year-old girl. and how MAGA can be just ignoring the whole situation, calling it all a hoax because Trump calls it a hoax. But see, these girls are now 30, 35 years old, and they're letting the truth come out. And they're on Congress's door and their doorsteps, and they're making their statements. And eventually, hopefully, they're going to get some justice. Justice for the Epstein survivors. 100%. If you love God, if you are a white Christian, then you ought to understand that your neighbor, whether he's brown or white or purple, I don't care, that you're supposed to love your neighbor. So, and I don't understand how it is that Donald Trump can wire you guys up to hate your neighbor. What if your neighbor is named Pancho and Pancho makes some badass tacos? And Pancho is a cool dude, actually turns you on to some tacos every once in a while, gives you some to your family and stuff. Nice guy. But then you vote for Trump. And what happens? And the ICE agents come over to fucking Pancho's house, rip him out of his freaking car in his driveway, and take him away. And his wife is sitting there wondering what the hell is happening. Why didn't you help? Why didn't you say anything? ICE has been responsible for more than 2 deaths. They've been responsible for many deaths. The amount of deaths in ICE custody has been underreported. There have been people disappearing from ICE custody, and their relatives do not know where they are going or where they have been sent. And I don't see how Americans can just let it go. So I'm glad to see that some GOP senators have grown a spine. And I'm going to say to you guys now, okay, I'm a Republican. I'm a red guy. All right? I'm a Republican. And I'm going to say to you, colleagues in Congress and the Senate and House of Representatives, you guys take the L. Make Trump a lame duck president. And if you've been lying for Trump, and if you've been a part of the conspiracy to cover up his actions, then you need to go. You need to go. Go quietly, but go fast. Because otherwise, your ass is going to get caught up. All right? Your ass is going to get caught up. When the motherfucking Democrats take over the Congress, and they will, unless Trump figures some sort of way out to rig the elections or to call martial law and there's no election for some reason, they pull a false flag operation in America and claim it's the Iranians or whatever. That is that is a real possibility. I've got to tell you. I would not put nothing past Trump. Volodymyr Zelensky made a comment in front of the White House with Donald Trump one day, and he talked about the election, the fact that they had not had elections in Ukraine for like 4 or 5 years or whatever. And when Trump asked about it, Zelensky told him, well, we got a war going on. You know what I'm saying? We got a war going on. We can't have elections. And Donald Trump heard that, and it was like a big-ass light bulb went off on his head. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, what? See? And that's going to be his plan. He's thinking, okay, the Iran war ain't going to work for him. If he invades Iran, and that could be a real possibility. He was talking about invading Karg Island, but I think he's probably going to do something else now. I'm thinking he's going to do a false flag operation in America, on American soil, claim it was Iranians or whoever, and then enact martial law. And then you guys are screwed. Then you guys are screwed. Then there won't be a midterm. So I'm just saying, you may think I'm full of shit, but that's more than likely what's going to happen. And we just got a few months now. And then you'll know that I was right or I was wrong. And if I was wrong, then freaking call me on it. Call me on it. Write to me at MattFoxOnTheTube at YouTube.com and tell me, Matt, you have no fucking idea because Donald Trump is now going to be voted out of office by the Democrats because they will win the midterms. That's a foregone conclusion unless he figures out some way to cheat. And that might very well be the possibility. So, in regards to these meetings in the Situation Room, the fact that Susie Wiles and everybody else was there, and J.D. Vance, who Donald Trump has been talking major shit about and really doesn't like anyway, and Donald Trump's making it clear that he doesn't necessarily think that J.D. Vance is the guy that needs to be taking the throne after him. So, and I'm certain that Donald Trump is trying to finagle some sort of a deal with whoever does take the throne after him, that he can continue to grift or to steal money in different ways from the government, and that his sons and daughters can continue their grifts also. And that's why he's so displeased about the unhappiness with the addendum that was written into the agreement with the IRS that Todd Blanche wrote out that absolved him of any future investigations into his taxes, into his children's taxes, any past, problems. He's got a get out of jail free card in regards to the IRS shit. So, and that's why he's mad. He's mad. He's got knives out for everybody. Knives are out. I'm telling you. So, when it comes down to protecting the American public, Donald Trump is not protecting the American public. He is spending your money. He is spending your money on vanity projects. He's spending your money on the reflecting pond, on an ark, on a freaking changing the passports. And just so you guys know, every time they change something in the government, they're talking about changing the name of the Pentagon to the Department of War. For what? For what? Every time they do some shit like that, that costs millions of dollars every time. Every time. Because they have to change the stationery, they have to change all the lettering on the doors, everywhere around the world where documents are going out, they have to be changed so that it says Department of War. And that's the kind of shit that is a waste of money. Where is Doge when you need him, right? So, in regards to the Situation Room meetings, I can tell you, Dan Bongino, Dan Bongino didn't want to be a part of it, told him, you know what, you guys do that, I'm not in it. He got the hell out. So, and they were probably trying to figure out right then how to take this dude out. But then he calmed down a little bit and made it possible for himself to make a quiet exit. But the dude's under surveillance, 24-hour surveillance. That's, you can bet that. And I would not go so far as to say that his life is not in danger, because Trump loves the ways of gangsters. He thinks he's a real gangster. So, and he is taking notes from Putin's actions, and he sees how Putin, if he doesn't like a dude or he wants this dude out of the way or whatever, what's he do? He locks him up, or gives him some poison, or sends somebody out there on the street to kill him. That's what Putin does. So, what is Trump doing? He's trying to lock him up. And the other stuff's going to be coming too. All right, so next up. So, yeah, so JD Vance, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. JD, you need to go ahead and pull the plug. Pull the plug and let Trump just fade away. Tell it. Tell it all. Drop the truth bomb. Because if the truth comes out, and it needs to come out, then Donald Trump will be exposed for the pedophile that he is. I say again, if you guys look on my page at Matt Fox on the Tube, at the top part of the header, there's an FBI document there, an official FBI document. And on that document, it's talking about how Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were doing all this shit with these modeling agency deals and stuff. And it says, and it's highlighted, Trump was actively recruiting girls. All right? That is an FBI document. So, and Virginia Giuffre, who wrote that book called, what's it called? Forever Girl or some shit. Anyway, she wrote this book, and this girl was taken from Mar-a-Lago to Jeffrey Epstein, and from there, she was taken to the island. Now, who says that she was not drugged and then taken to the island? Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying, it doesn't sound out of the realm of belief. Okay? So the knives are out, and who's going to drop the truth bomb? I don't know. But I'm thinking that J.D. Vance needs to be the one if he wants to save his political career. So, and as I said, people are going to be taking sides, retiring, or spilling the beans on the truth of how bad the files are for Trump. They are going to be letting the cat out of the bag, and the truth will set you free. That means if you are a Republican and you help bring the truth out, you may have an opportunity to save your political career. If not, if you continue to lie and cover up for Donald Trump, then you will go down with the ship. I'm telling you now. All right, let's change subjects because I don't even like talking about Donald Trump, man. Freaking Donald Trump, if you can hear me, you need to put a big old cock in your mouth and just eat it up. You know what I'm saying? Um, Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass. They are making some serious gains, and it won't be long. It won't be long. I told you guys, I said in less than 2 months, I said that, what, like 2 days ago. What was that, like June 9th? I said that? Or June 8th? I said 2 months. So by August 8th, I'm saying that the Ukraine Russia war will be over. Mark my words. Um, yeah, between their drones and everything else. Hey, what's up, time? And between their drones and their, they just got some new Gripens from Sweden. So, hey, Russia, you're going to be feeling it pretty soon. Huh? Look here. Glory to Ukraine, all right? Um, Here in Germany, a lot of Ukrainians came after the war started, and so they're over here living their lives and stuff. I don't speak Ukrainian, but then again, they say, or my wife says, she says that's they're speaking Russian. So so I can't tell what the difference between Ukrainian and Russian is anyway. So I don't know. But if you're a Russian and you're in Germany, the question is, do you support Putin and Russia as a whole, or only Russia, and wish that Putin was gone? Because what the Russians did in Bucha, that was some serious bullshit. That was some serious bullshit. I mean, I don't know too many countries that did some shit like that. Although there was a few situations. Sorry. There was a few situations in Vietnam where some Americans did some stupid shit. I got to give you that. There were some massacres. There was some stupid shit. I got to be real about it. Uh, yeah, yeah. Time. Russia ain't got that much more time. They got, like I said, they got maybe 2 months. They're gonna be freaking throwing his ass out, Putin's ass out pretty soon. Either that, they're gonna be trying to put him in the scope. Yeah. So let's get on to the next subject right away. The Olympics are coming, and you guys already know that Donald Trump is president, and he tries to make everything about himself. And right now, the FIFA Cup is going on, in the World Cup series is going on in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. Today it started in Los Angeles, and I am looking forward to watching some parts of it to see what kind of disruption ICE or BCP is doing there. Now, I look forward to the game. The U.S. is supposed to be playing Paraguay. If anybody knows the score or something like that and it's already going on, let me know. But nevertheless, the Ukrainians are knocking out the Russians. 2 months. The Olympics are coming to America, and hopefully Donald Trump will not be the president at that time. Hopefully he will be out. Second Amendment, Section 4, get his ass out. Get all of them dudes out of the cabinet and everybody else. So another new subject: Spurs versus the Knicks. Have we got any Spurs fans? We got any Knicks fans? Who's on whose side here? Anybody watching? Let me know if you're a Spurs fan or a Knicks fan. I'm interested to hear who you guys are rooting for. So I am an LA fan, of course, because being from LA, I gotta be it. But my mom, lives in San Antonio, and I'm certain she's a Spurs fan, and I've got some brothers that live there too. So, um, I personally would like to see the Knicks win because they haven't won in so long. They deserve one. Why not? No. And Donald Trump went over there and jinxed him the other day. Went over there and stuffed his face during the game and stuff, and then went and took a little nappy. And yeah, but he got booed like a mother trucker. All right, this fool. They booed. They didn't just boo this fool in the stadium. They booed this fool in the bars when they showed him on the screen and stuff. I mean, they were at bars in New York, and when they saw Trump over there at the game, they were like, boo! Shooting the finger at the TV and everything. I was freaking laughing. So, and even in Texas, these fools were booing Trump there as well. Because Donald Trump has sided with Ken Paxton over John Cornyn as a senator from Texas, an incumbent senator. And Trump has sided with Ken Paxton, the attorney general, who let a pedophile out and pardoned him. He doesn't even have to be on the sex offender registry. And the citizens of Texas are pissed. They are pissed about that shit. And they got every right to be. But Donald Trump, once again, back into pedophile. And so John Cornyn is now making his voice heard and letting Donald Trump know that he knows who he is. So, next subject. Who is looking forward to the UFC White House fight? Not me. Because this is straight up game. And the Trump administration and his freaking family will be doing everything they can to grift for some more money. Maybe they'll be making some coins. Maybe they'll be making some t-shirts. They'll be hawking hats. They will be hawking everything you can think of just for the distraction that the UFC fight is causing. There's court battles going on, but you know what? I think the man that's going to have the final word on the whole UFC match happening at the White House is not going to be Donald Trump. It's not going to be Dana White. It's not going to be any of those fighters. You know who it's going to be? God. And God is going to say, thou shalt not be fighting in front of the White House on my time. Yeah, there's going to be some thunderstorms, so I don't think it's going to happen. Suck it, Donnie. All right, next subject. So, last year, on Trump's birthday, this fool threw a military parade. And he thought it was going to be some big-ass parade with a bunch of rockets and tanks and helicopters and all this shit. And, you know, it turned out not to be like what he was hoping for. But they spent like $60 million just to do that shit. What's up, Hi Bunny? Thanks for watching. 420, shoot me something. Come on. But anyway, and subscribe too. Subscribe. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. Shoot me a freaking email, something. But anyway, Trump threw a big ass birthday party last year on his birthday. Spent what, $60 to $80 million for this military parade. Closed off all the Washington area, right near the White House and stuff. Thought there was going to be millions of people there. Bro, I swear to God, there there's more people in the freaking little bitty town that I was living in prior to moving to Rostock than showed up for this party. That was a waste of money and a freaking made Trump look like a laughing stock. Just like his freaking inauguration. The dude is a laughing stock. Mr. I got a whole bunch of orange makeup on my face. I mean, God. This dude with his cankles and freaking bruised hands and shit. I mean, he's dying. What he's dying of, they won't tell you. But he's dying. So, and apparently all the people that go over there to shoot him, nobody wants to, is a good shot or I don't know, or they're just sitting around with their guns or something like that. I don't know. One dude ran through the White House Correspondents' Dinner with a shotgun, and I didn't even understand it. I mean, I saw the video, and the dude comes running through. You know what I'm saying? And then they get him over there, but he wasn't. They didn't kill him. They didn't shoot him. They just tackled him. So I'm thinking he maybe wasn't shooting everybody that he saw. So I'm thinking maybe he wasn't too dangerous. And apparently the dude was teacher of the year or teacher of the month like a couple of years ago. So I don't know. It seems like game to me. I don't know. You guys are too willing to be gullible every time Trump or the administration does some shit. You guys eat that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. How can you do that? You know, I got a kid over here, right? And when he was little, he was cute as a mother trucker. I love that kid. I love that kid. And I still love him. But he's in puberty now. And that fool is constantly not telling the truth. Or doing some stupid shit. But I love that kid unconditionally. I get angry at him. But I know when he's lying. And that's why I don't understand why you guys don't realize that Trump is lying to you all the time when he keeps on lying to you. Hey, he's been fucking telling you guys for I don't know how long that him and Iran, they got a deal going on and they're talking about it and they haven't signed anything yet, but they're getting closer and they're now re-talking. They're talking about it again. And I mean, every freaking day it's something else. The story changes and changes and changes. And that's why everybody calls him Taco. He said, he says, yeah, we're gonna drop some bombs on them, and I'm tired of it, and this and that, and this and that. Next day comes around, Trump chickens out. Now, it's not something that we want, that he goes and drops bombs on Iran. I mean, they already killed the Ayatollah. So the point is Trump should have never done that shit in the first place. And now he done kicked the freaking rat's nest. And what's he got? You guys are sitting at $4.46 a gallon now. Whereas you guys were at $2.98 a month and a half or 3 months ago. So think about it. What is he doing for farmers? He's not doing shit for farmers. They're paying out the ass for fertilizer. They're paying out the ass for diesel. Inflation is going up. Unemployment is going up. Why is it that you guys are not understanding that Donald Trump is bad for America? He's talking about make America great again. America was fine before he fucking touched it. And now you guys are sitting there wondering. And I'm telling you, the freaking deficit is so ballooned that I don't see how we'll ever get back from this shit. We need to go ahead and jack Elon for about a $500 billion in taxes. Because he ain't paying no taxes anyway. That's what I don't understand. All these billionaires, they ain't paying no taxes. So if Elon's a trillionaire, he ought to be able to get up $1 billion and help out the government to pay the national debt off. He's got enough. So pay it off. All right. So there is talk about RFK getting fired. Amen. Amen. This dude is straight nitwit material. I mean, he stops the car because he sees a dead raccoon in the street, and then he jumps out while his family's in the car and goes out and cuts the dead raccoon's penis off. What the shit is that? What is this dude for a person? And something that's really freaking crazy is this dude used to be a drug addict. Now, how is it that we go and put drug addicts in cabinet positions and felony criminals in the position of the presidency? Come on, man. You guys are going to be living in a world of Mad Max shit pretty soon if you don't get some straightening going on over there in America. And Donald Trump is making bad decisions on behalf of American citizens. You guys really need to get a grip. You need to fucking take control. Okay, that's about it for tonight. I'm going to do some more research and be checking in. Also, I did want to talk about these two pilots of the helicopter that went down the other day. They did rescue them, and they're both doing okay. So, thank God. All right, guys. Listen, if you love your family, if you love your sons, your daughters, then let them know. You know what I'm saying? Make it clear to them that you love them unconditionally. All right? Tell them before they go to bed, hey, son, I love you. Hey, I love you. All right? Because they take that when they go to bed and they feel a safe, warm place for you in their heart. But I can tell you one thing. That's something that Donald Trump has never done. Not with any of his kids. And that, my friends, is a little sad because this dude does not donate to any charities. And this dude is only thinking about himself. He's not thinking about you. He even said, when they asked him about the hardships that Americans were having to go through because of his little excursion into Iran, he said, I don't even think about that. See, he ain't thinking about you. All right? Okay, guys. I'm Matt Fox, and this was totally out of control news from Matt Fox on the Tube. I wish you guys a good night or a good afternoon. And wherever you're at, if you're in Indonesia, if you're in China, if you're in Russia, or wherever you're at, give me a shout out, say hello, and I hope that you're going to have a wonderful day. All right? We'll see you tomorrow. Take care and have a good night.